Hey everyone, so this is a secret seed challenge update. Alright, so my secret seed partners are the Vineyard Chicks and Flavors and Textures. So, Vineyard Chicks, I have 2 seeds that germinated. And these are obviously beans. What kind of beans, I'm not sure yet. But I think I will be able to figure it out soon because I can see the leaf pattern. So, yeah. Anyhow, 2 beautiful beans from the Vineyard Chicks I got here. I am going to be putting these in the ground today. It is a beautiful overcast day and we're supposed to get some really good rain. It's a perfect time to do some transplanting. So these beans will go out today. And then I have from Flavors and Textures, Myra at Flavors and Textures, I had 3 seeds from her and 2 of those germinated. Okay, so I got 2 of the peat pellets with seed A to germinate. If you can see, that one came up a little bit later and then this one came up first. I'm going to transplant these today. And then this was B and I got 2 out of there and it looks like those are peppers, so I'm going to transplant those today. And C did not germinate, so I don't have a C, but I have an A and I have a B. So I have some cups here that I have put some holes in, and I have secret seed A, 2 of those for the 2 secret seed A's, and 2 for secret seed B. And then when they get big enough, I'm going to transplant them into probably some of these big 15-inch pots. That's probably what I will put those in. Along with the beans as well, I'll probably put those in a container as well, just to be able to separate them from the rest of the garden. Alright, so I'm going to transplant these. Over here I just have a mix of peat and compost, and I'm going to get my seeds transplanted into these. I am also going to be putting in here a little bit of rabbit manure for some fertilization. And rabbit manure is a cold manure and it can go right in the garden. You don't have to compost it. Full of nutrients. I have a I believe I have a video on the nutrients in rabbit manure. I'll have to double check and make sure, but if I don't, I will make one soon. Now, I have some rabbit manure here. Now, what I do with my rabbit manure, I sun dry the rabbit manure for 3 days before I use it. So essentially I bake it. It gets baked for about 3 days in the sun, and then I use it. Even though I can take it straight from the hutch and put it right in my garden, I do it that way because I sell it. So I want to make sure that it is fully dried out and, you know, in perfect condition for sale. So now what I'm going to do is, there's a lot of hay in here. So I take it and I put it in this cardboard lid that I had from a box. Put it in here, and then I just take this piece and I separate it from the hay. That way I have just the straight manure. Now there might be a few pieces here and there, hay in there, or stray pieces of food, like pellets that they didn't eat, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. And this is just how I do the separation. That way I have clean manure ready to go when I need it. Alright, so this is what the separation looks like here. You can probably see this side has the hay and then that side is just the manure. So I'm going to take my cups and I'm just going to get a handful and I'm going to put it right in my cup. And you can see it's just a thin layer there. I'm putting it towards the top because that way when I water it or when it gets rain, the nutrients will go down and feed the roots of the plants. I don't want the manure too far down because then my roots are not big enough and long enough to reach the nutrients. So I keep the manure about 3/4 of the way up, if not more. Alright, so now that I've got my layer of manure there, I'm going to put another, I better do this over here, another top off of my mixture here. Now this is just compost and peat. And then I'm going to water this cup. I'm just going to get some water and I'm going to water these cups. Alright, so I've got my water. I'm just going to water these. Just to get, you know, get my soil wet to begin with. I like to start out with a nice moist medium. Now one of these A's is further along than the other one. I'm just going to make a hole, you know, like you can see this little space. I'm going to put this little plug right in there. Actually, I'm just going to take this whole thing off. That way the roots can get into the soil freely. Alright, I'm just going to fit that right in there. And that's it. So now I got my secret seed A and it's been transplanted. Now these have been in the I don't know if you want to call it my grow room. It's not actually a room, but it's like downstairs in my basement where I keep my grow lights. These have been indoors the whole time, so I'm not going to put these outside right away. I'm going to keep them here in the sunroom until they have acclimated to the temperature change. I will keep them, you know, near the sunny window, but I'm not going to put them directly outside. Now this one I can probably put outside because it hasn't had a life indoors for a very long period of time. It just germinated. So this one I could probably go ahead and put outside. But that one has been indoors for a little while. and I don't want to shock it too much. Well, it is kind of an overcast day, so I could probably put them out and they won't be too bad because they haven't had, like I said, they haven't had a really long life downstairs under those grow lights. So this is for Secret Seed B, and I'm going to make my now this is called a dibber. I got this from Best Yet Journey. I won this on one of her giveaways. Love it. It comes in really handy. Alright, so here we have the peppers. I'm sure these are peppers. Look at all those roots. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful when I am separating these because I don't want to disturb the roots too much. So I'm going to open it from the bottom, and then on these little peat pellets there's always a seam, and I got to find the seam. You don't have to, but I like to find the seam and separate it right along the seam of the pellet there. And then it's like a piece of fabric, so the roots will come like straight out of there. You don't have to break the roots. They'll come out like hairs. See that as I'm gently pulling it, the roots are just coming right out of there. So you don't have to pull it really hard. You don't have to disturb the roots too much. They will come out of there and you won't lose too much of that. So there you go. See, look at that. I still have lots of roots intact. So I'm going to separate these just straight down the middle. I can see these, gently separate these down the middle. Alright, so now I have two plants. I'm going to put one in this cup and one in this cup. Now I've already moistened this soil in here. I've already wet it. It's already got wet. It's already got moisture in there. I don't have to water this again. And the pellet itself was already wet. I had just watered it, so if you can see, they were nice and wet to begin with. So I'm not going to water these. So that's Secret Seed B there, one of them. And this is going to stay inside. And then this Secret Seed B, let's fix it here. And this is our second Secret Seed B. Alright, so we have A and we have B, and then we have the Vineyard Chicks beans. So I've got all of my secret seeds transplanted and they're growing nicely and they're about to go out in the garden very soon. The beans are going to go out today in a pot, and these ones will stay in the sunroom just for a little while longer, probably just this week. Just to get acclimated to temperature change from downstairs in the basement to outside. So, just a tip for you guys, make sure you are hardening off your plants. Make sure that you are not taking them straight from indoors to outdoors. I know that the temperature is nice, I know that it is getting nicer and nicer, but your plants are used to a certain temperature and a certain environment. Taking them straight from that environment and putting them into a brand new environment is going to shock them and potentially kill them. So you don't want to make that mistake. You have already had these plants growing, you've nurtured them, you've fed them, you've watered them, you've babied them all this time. You don't want to lose all that hard work. So please make sure that you are hardening off your plants If you're taking them from one environment to another, you want to make sure you do that slowly. Like today, we are not going to have a lot of sun. We are not going to have full on sun today because it's going to rain. So it's a perfect day to put out transplants on a cloudy day, not when it's 80 degrees and sun blazing. You don't want to do transplanting at that time. You want to do your transplanting when it is an overcast day, when it is mild outside, and your plants don't go through a shock. Particularly on a day right before it rains, or on a day, like today, it's going to rain today. So a day right before it rains is a great day to do some transplanting. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, the more you know, the more you grow. Bye guys.